Hi, I'm Jeff with Home Repair Tutor, and in this video I'm going to show you how to build an awesome outdoor storage bench like this one here. And the reason why it's so awesome is because it's got a ton of storage in it. So whether you've got to place toys in there or cushions for your outdoor seating, you're covered. So let me show you how to build this. It's fantastic. Let's get to it. The reason I need the outdoor storage bench is for the cushions of our patio seats. So I needed to remove all the cushions and then stack them to get the height that I need for the storage bench, which I'm going to make out of this 2x4 foot sheet of 3/4 inch plywood and this 4-inch lumber. So the plywood, the actual length of it, what I'm going to do is frame the plywood first, but the actual length is 47 7/8 inch wide. The lumber is 3/4 of an inch wide, so the long piece of lumber that's going to frame it is 49 3/8, which I'm marking off here, and then going to cut with my circular saw. Set your circular saw to about 3/4 of an inch to accommodate the depth of the lumber. So cut the long pieces of lumber first for the frame, and then measure for the short side of the lumber, which in this case is 23 7/8 inch wide, So cut those short pieces and then dry fit all of them together to see if they frame in the plywood, which they do here. Perfect. Now, use outdoor wood screws for this project and type on 3 wood glue because it's waterproof and you can use it for exterior and interior projects. So I pre-drilled holes into the lumber, used my rafter square to make sure that it was perfectly 90 degrees to the plywood. So pre-drilled all the holes and then screwed that frame to the plywood, and that gives you a nice base to work from. See? We're going to add casters to the storage bench because it's huge and it's going to be heavy. You'll need 4 coupling nuts. The coupling nuts screw onto the casters like so. But get the height of the caster plus the coupling nut to determine the height of the skirt you're going to add to the bottom of the frame you just built. In this case, I'm just going to use another piece of lumber. Now measure in. I measured in about 3.5 inches from the side and the front, and make a mark. That's where you're going to position the caster. Now I used a 2-inch screw because it would go through the piece of 2x4 here and not through the plywood. So I attached, clamped, and screwed in a piece of lumber. And then I used a speed bore bit to drill a hole into the 2x4, and that's where we're going to put the casters. We're going to use the Kreg Jig R3 to create pocket holes in our lumber. This is awesome because you can set the depth of the Kreg Jig to the depth of your lumber, in this case 3/4 of an inch thick. You get a drill bit, which you also need to set to the depth of your lumber. Again, 3/4 of an inch thick. Clamp the Kreg Jig to your lumber and then drill your pocket screws. We're going to use pocket screws to attach the skirt to the frame. In this case, I'm going to opt for coarse screws because coarse screws need to be used for soft woods, and the wood that we're using is pine, so it's very soft. Attach the skirt to the frame using the coarse screws, the coarse jig screws. I still pre-drilled and screwed the face of the skirt around the frame. So as you can see here, I'm pre-drilling and then I add this exterior wood screws to the skirt. The last thing I did in this step was pound this coupling nuts into place. So 4 coupling nuts into the 2 pieces of 2x4. Turn the storage bench over. Now what you're going to do is build up the sides. Again, add the short sides first and then add the long sides using the exact same methods that you used to build the skirt. So again, screw in screws for the sides, for the corners, and then add pocket screws for all the interior support. Screw in the casters to all 4 coupling nuts and tighten them down using channel locks. Oh, and look how cool this is. Casters are awesome, right? They're going to allow you to move the storage bench wherever you want. So again, build up the sides using pocket screws on the interior and then screws face screwing on the edges. Pretty simple, and what you end up with is a built-up storage bench where you can put all your cushions. Last step you need to take is build a lid. And what I did is I just built up the cabinet one more row than I needed, then I removed all the pocket screws. This will give you a perfectly square frame for the lid. Pretty sweet, right? So now what you need to do is add some interior support to it. I just simply added pocket screws to 2 slats, and sometimes it's easier to add the pocket screws to your wood, by the way. But I added the interior supports, then I drilled out pocket screws for all the long sides, added wood glue, and then screwed the long pieces of lumber into place. Oh, I clamped it down to the interior supports, added the pocket screws, and then I added some additional screws on the interior. You can add 2 rope chains to the left and right side of the bench to support the lid when it's in the up position. Add your hinges to the back, a nice handle, and you'll be all set. The last step I took was adding Flex Seal to the bottom of the lid to make it waterproof. All my cushions fit in there, nice and easy, pretty sweet. Nice storage unit. The storage cabinet is so big, you can store kids in there. Specifically kids eating popsicles. Just a joke. Don't store your kids in the storage cabinet. Totally awesome project, right? All you need is the Kreg Jig circular saw, a drill, some screws and glue. You're all set. So if you've got any questions for me, ask them in the comment section. I'd be more than happy to help you out. And remember, if you haven't already done so, click on the subscribe button, especially if you've got a house, because I'm sure you've got projects creeping up on you, and I've got a ton of tips every single Friday, because that's when a new video comes out from me, and it goes to you. So thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate your time. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.